At this intersection of 21st Avenue and 3rd Street North, where Tishner was allegedly seen by witnesses walking two children on leashes before pushing them into the snow. Officers responded to the scene only moments later. Well, the Truth March starts and ends here outside of Atwood Memorial Center. Their goal is to bring light and spread knowledge through peaceful action. Protesters are conveying their messages loud and clear, and though progress has been made, some may be wondering what will it take for this Occupy movement to end. On Tuesday, Ryan Storms was charged with 3 counts of second-degree assault with a deadly weapon after he allegedly held a pistol up to the driver's window. Storms claims the driver would not let him pass. Well, with homework assignments piling up and with finals week right around the corner, many students may be turning to Adderall now more than ever. We're going to do a dance. Okay. Can
So
do it.
is this,
Okay.
this, and just that. A little bit faster now.
The fundraising never ends for those running for a political seat. Vice President Joe Biden will be in Minneapolis today to help Democratic Senator Amy Klobuchar's fall campaign. Donors for Klobuchar's campaign are asked to give $125,000 to $10,000 each. She already has a multi-million-dollar head start on her upcoming fall component, but don't start guessing final numbers yet. Any money that is raised today isn't required to be discussed until mid-summer. Well, this bicyclist may not have been distracted, but some accidents just can't be avoided. Around 3:30 yesterday, police were called to the 500 block of 15th Avenue Southeast after a bicycle collided with a vehicle. 6-year-old Markel Jennings of St. Cloud was riding his bike when he ran into a car driven by Sarah Bricks. According to police, Bricks was turning right in a parking lot when her car was hit. Jennings was taken to the St. Cloud Hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. No citations were issued. You may have heard these chants on campus today as students held a Truth March to fight tuition costs. Well, the Truth March starts and ends here outside of Atwood Memorial Center. Their goal is to bring light and spread knowledge through peaceful action.
We're here because we're pissed off about the funding that Minnesota is refusing to give Minsky schools and other Minnesota schools. Funding used to be around the 50% level. It's just been dropping every year, and at that same time that the Minnesota funding's dropping, our tuition's going up. According to the Office of Higher Education, in 2011, student tuition comprised 59% of the funding for public universities and colleges. While student enrollment continues to rise each year nationally by a little over 2%, state funding continues to decrease by 4%. Students are having to take out loans. I believe 70% of SCSU students here have to take out loans, trying to make a little bit more noise and be a little bit more vocal about it. That noise was heard loud and clear by St. Cloud students.
I did see the protest, and I thought it was kind of cool that so many people were interested in lowering our tuition. I never knew how big of a problem tuition was, with professors being cut and our tuition rising.
After they laid their signs to rest, protesters were happy with today's outcome.
It went pretty well, I guess. It's kind of a crappy day out, so there's not many people outside. I mean, to counteract that, we did go inside of a lot of buildings. We did get a lot of reactions from people over in Garvey trying to get lunch.
And the president walked by. Shook his hand.
That was good.
We began receiving 911 calls into our dispatch in reference to suspicious activity.
Though phone lines were not nearly as busy today, on Tuesday, one after one, witnesses called in after 67-year-old Waldemar Tishner, an in-home daycare provider, was spotted conducting malicious behavior toward children. Well, it was at this intersection of 21st Avenue and 3rd Street North where Tishner was allegedly seen by witnesses walking two children on leashes before pushing them into the snow. Officers responded to the scene only moments later.
He was placed under arrest for suspicion of malicious punishment of a child. We did find signs of injury that were consistent with what the callers were stating.
The two boys received non-life-threatening injuries, and now Tishner's license has been temporarily revoked. However, after multiple phone calls, Tishner's door was not open to the public, and he was unable to be reached for comment. Though Tishner's neighbors wished to remain anonymous, they only had positive things to say about the Tishner family. They have always been wonderful daycare providers, neighbors, and parents. They have nothing but respect for their children, and though I do not know what happened, I have nothing but respect for them. It is clear Tishner has the support of his neighbors. However, it is unclear as to whether or not his license will be reinstated.
Well, it all depends on the outcome of the case. There's civil considerations as well as criminal. Our goal is, hey, temporarily you don't have a license, and then they can decide later if it's going to be permanent.
Music was in the air today as the Spirit of Uganda carried their tune all the way to St. Cloud.
We are called the Spirit of Uganda, and this is all the people that perform in the Spirit of Uganda. They've been affected either by AIDS or wars, or they are in vulnerable situations. So all these are students from Uganda that needed help to be able to get their education, medication, shelter, and to have a place in the society.
They made their place in society today at Talahi Community School as a part of their tour. Though their audience was large in size, but small in stature, the students will never forget the day the Spirit of Uganda danced into their hearts. Though this performance today may have brought the students' minds to a different part of the world, it brought the minds of the musicians home.
Wherever I play these instruments, I feel like I'm back home, and I really relax when I'm doing it.
Though the Spirit of Uganda makes these melodies seem effortless, they are a lot harder to play than one might think. We're gonna do a dance. Okay. Can
So
do it.
it's this,
Okay.
this, and just that. So a little bit faster now. Yeah.
Good.
See, that's it.
I'm a pro.
Yeah. Yeah, you should join.
The Spirit of Uganda touched everyone today as they traveled across state lines and bar lines to make this day harmonious for everyone.